Here is another impulse purchase, because having only one Husky girl in my collection feels like a no-no. She is a little bit fiddly though, so let's see if I regret this one. This is Husky's PA006 from their Pocket Art series. Izumi Haise is what it says in the box. Online she's always listed as Hiyo Reizei, which I guess it doesn't matter too much what you call her. We have an all plastic box here, just like Fiona's. You can see the figure in the front of course, and there are some promo shots and stuff on the back and sides. Opening up the box, there are some plastic trays, along with some instructions. Here's a quick look at them. There are 3 trays all stacked up. The top tray has the main figure and stuff related to her. The second layer has her weaponry and things. And the last tray has her stand stuff. At first glance, she does come with quite a lot of stuff, which is nice. Here she is. She looks kind of ordinary and no thoughts, head empty. I guess that's what the default faceplate is like. She is kind of a security girl or something, so I guess the outfit does make sense. And if you take a closer look, there is quite a fair bit going on. She kind of has work overalls, like a short sleeve, short security overall type thing. I don't know what to call this. Nothing fancy, but looks pretty good though. It isn't too plain, the sleeves are rolled up and there are the cuffed shorts. Simple yet stylish. The outfit is made more interesting by straps and buckles and stuff like that. She has a kind of vest harness thing with all kinds of gear on it. She has a waist baggie attached to her, well, waist and leg. And she's got some random pockets and patches and stuff. She's got black gloves, knee pads, stockings, and some nice kicks. For details, she's got some communication gear like walkie-talkie and stuff, which I will say can be a little bit fiddly. Again, I usually do have terrible quality control luck. The wires are meant to be glued, however they are not glued very well here and do keep falling out for me. This is super hard to plug back into the hole. Of course I could have glued them in, but I'm also stupid, so I just keep trying to re-plug them in and hope that they stay put. Anyway, not too big of an issue. She's got brown hair and a slight bit of shading at the tips. I can't actually tell, to be honest. Her hat is nicely detailed and just kind of squishes onto her head. It stays on well enough. Her ponytail plugs into the back of her head and isn't particularly well attached, but it's not too bad. It can also feel a little bit fragile, so do be careful with it. Otherwise, she has reddish brown eyes with a kind of empty pupil, which probably adds to her no thoughts, head empty look. It doesn't look bad or anything though, and I think it suits her quite well. Her soft goods look, well, pretty good. The stitching isn't too prominent or anything. And she has this little ID card in her back pocket. Pretty cool details. For articulation, she has pretty good head movement. Do be careful of her side hair and earpiece and things which are attached to her ear. When she nods, her ponytail can easily poke into her back and also fall out, so do be careful of that. You can swing it to the side, which I suppose still looks okay. The ponytail can move around but is a little bit loose. Be careful when moving her arms. Make sure that the joints are in the right position or direction before moving them. It can be a little bit hard to tell whether the joint is tight or whether you're about to snap it, since you can't really see what it looks like underneath the clothes. The shoulder joints are probably the things you need to watch out for. You can roll up her sleeves and make sure the upper arm is positioned correctly before moving it. Otherwise, her arms can pretty much move in whichever way you want, just take your time with it. She can reach forward like this. Her elbows bend like this. And her wrists move like this. Upper torso movement is a little bit limited by her outfit. You can rotate it a little bit, but she doesn't really bend backwards and forwards. You would mostly need to rely on hip movement for bends and things. Surprisingly, her hip bag doesn't really get in the way too much, which is good. She can kick sideways pretty well. And she can kick forwards and backwards too. Her knees bend like this, and even with the stockings and knee pads have good range. Her feet can wobble in every which way. And she has bendy toes. So articulation is limited a little bit by her outfit, but it's not too bad. If you're wondering, she probably has the exact same body as Fiona, so if you would like to see what that looks like, please do check out her video. The reason why I'm not showing it here is because I didn't really want to mess with her outfit too much, as stuff was falling off by itself as is, and wrestling with her outfit without tweezers or anything is probably not a good idea. For accessories, she has a stand. She has two hair parts, which are very subtle in difference. One is for wearing her hat, and the other is for when her hat is off, although the former does work without the hat as well. The main difference is the strand of hair in front of her right eye. Here is what her hat looks like again. For faces, she has a total of 4 different ones. Her default face is kind of, again, no thoughts, head empty. Or I don't give a face number 2 is kind of like an oh no, sad or worried blushy face. Pretty cute. She also has a neutral masked face. And finally she has an angry masked face. All of the faces do have movable eyes, which you can use this stick to move. Do be careful when swapping the faces out, and remember to remove the earpiece first, as they are plugged into the ear. And also her hair will rub off onto her faces. She also has a whole bunch of hands, 6 total. She has default fisty hands, gun holdy hands where she's ready to fire, gun holdy hands with finger off the trigger, holdy hole hands, slightly tilted forwards holdy hole hands, and open hands. The hands are pretty good. They are soft enough so that changing hands isn't really a hassle, yet she can still hold her accessories well. Kind of anyway. The holding hands can be a little bit loose with the batons, but it's not too bad. For weaponry, she has a whole bunch of stuff. This doesn't really count, but she does have zip ties attached to her little bag. These do work, but just be careful when moving them. There is a spare one along with a sticky thing to attach to her bag, but I wouldn't mess with these too much. Also, don't know why they packaged the spare one like this. You can kind of see stress marks already. Kind of silly. She has 2 batons. Pretty decent looking melee weapons, nothing too fancy though. She can slot one on the side of her waist strap thing, or she can just dual wield them. She also has a P90 submachine gun. This is nicely detailed. There are a few things you can do with this. Firstly, the barrel can be swapped out, so you can have either a short or a long one. The mag can also be removed. Not sure if it's just my copy, but it is a little bit loose and may fall out sometimes depending on the pose. You can also just remove the top part, which I'm not sure what the significance of this is. And finally, you should be able to remove the sight as well, but it is very tight on my copy, or it's painted or glued on. I don't really want to risk breaking it, but in the instructions it says you can do this. Nice looking little gun anyway. She also has a P50 semi-automatic pistol. Also looks pretty good. You can flip up the top and swap the mag as well. Just be careful when you do this, as it does look a little bit fragile. If you want to count them, she also has 2 extra mags in her vest thing. These can be removed, but it is a bit hard to get them out due to the shape. The end will get caught on the fabric. Just be patient and you should be able to wiggle it out. Shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. So Izumi does have a nice amount of stuff, and despite being a bit plain, she has somewhat grown on me. That said, she is a little bit fiddly, and so if you don't like kind of complex outfits and things getting in the way when posing, or falling out, or potentially having to fix things, this figure may not be for you. For height, she is about 15.5 centimeters tall, or just over 6 inches. At a 1/12 scale, that's like 186 centimeters, or 6'1". Very tall girly. Here she is next to Fiona, Snail Shell Girls, UMP9, Librarian, Modernia, Mina, NIKKE stuff, and gacha stuff. Here are some poses. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.